Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda, I'm back and I'm alive and it feels good. And I have many things to tell you about. I did not die driving on vacation.
This is amazing. I was like, oh, why don't I have insurance with Keith? Like he could die any second now. So it's good to see you.
There is a bunch of stuff that did happen, but today's packed. I have to tell you, first of all, July 4th is Keith and the Girl Day. And what I like about this is we say, hey, go out there with the Keith and the Girl shirt or a sticker or a pin. Let people know you listen to the show. You'll be surprised who else listens to it, meaning it started marriages, no exaggeration. A father and son that didn't really get along saw each other in the shirt that day. They had something to communicate about, and now they're closer. It's very exciting. And now we have new shirts for you. How about that? Check out keithandthegirl.com/gear, Gear. And our buddy Newsy made all new artwork. It's a design based on the history of Keith and the Girl. That includes the dad emails, wave punching. I just got that one for myself. Who are, bummer news. The list goes on. Xerxes took that art, turned it into gear, and we have it for you. Mugs, pants, bags, so much more. All colors, all sizes. I think you're going to like it a lot. I love it.
I love that it's the history and it's one of those I think there's like 25 different images on it and you're like, oh, I remember when I heard the wave punching first, or there's a little pot with me and the face on the, and I'm not even describing it right, but it's a pothead. Get it? It's so cute, everything. And he's been around pretty much the entire time personally and listening through the show. So it's such a fun shirt. We're calling it the History of Keith and the Girl shirt, and you can pick a collage of all of them or individual ones. Go to keithandthegirl.com/gear, Gear.
Yeah, one of them is the original iPod with the scroll wheel.
Yeah.
And it says since 2005, which is crazy. We did podcasting when it still had the scroll wheel. The iPod or iTunes didn't have a podcasting section. Never mind its own app now. I love these designs, and I think you will too. For example, I mentioned the wave punching one, where and I say you go to the beach, you're in the water, punch some waves. Slow down these hurricanes, slow down these tornadoes, start making it so bad for everybody. This person, Kyle, said I punched so many waves today for Keith. Well, people say do things for yourself, but why would you? You have enough going on. Do it for me. Do it for me. You're at the beach, you're throwing some punches there. Also, we mentioned be subscribed to our YouTube. Go to YouTube, look up Keith and the Girl. We put a silent trailers up there for you. That's with Saturday Night Live's Bowen Yang, The State's Kevin Allison, NPR's Ophira Eisenberg, the black guy who tips Rod Morrow. And we have some listeners that jump in and play silent trailers also. It's the greatest game show ever made, and you can see it for free right there on YouTube. Okay? Now, let's get to today's main attraction. Ready, folks?
Yeah, hell yeah.
The documentary is called Funny That Way.
No, it's called Julia Scotti, Funny That Way.
And guess who the guest is today? The guest that's about to turn off their phone. Ladies, gentlemen, and people that aren't dorks and don't fit into the binary spectrum, Julia Scotti.
Hello. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had it off. I was just ordering my Keith and the Girl merchandise, so
you did the right thing.
You can't really hold that against me.
That's fair. Julia, good to see you. How you doing?
It's good to be seen. Thank you, Keith. And hi, Chemda, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
One of those have to be right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I had no idea that you had such a long, storied history in poddom.
We've been doing it for a bit, but we're here to talk about. But I already know. Thank you, but I already know that story. Okay. We're going to talk about you. This documentary is very well produced, very well put together, and I hope you're proud of it.
I am very proud of it. I really personally, I was not involved in the production part of it. I don't, that's that's Susan Sandler. She's the director. She's the producer. She did everything from soup to nuts, and she deserves all the kudos. But thank you. Anyway, I'll pass it along to her.
It starts right away saying this is the story you're going to get into. A comedian who, after 3 marriages to women, or during the third one, rather, just to speed things up, realized they want to be a transgender woman. And then you start getting into the actual story. The first wife, you don't really talk about. I think it's the only wife you don't mention her name. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a reason, and I'd rather not even do that here. So if we wouldn't mind, I
don't care. Fuck it.
All righty then. Well, it was nice talking to all of you guys. Take care.
Is this okay to ask? Did you ask them to be in the documentary, or
I don't
there's
want to
not
talk
even
about it. I really don't want to. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. In the movie, you do say that you got married, the first one, to upset your mom. Do you think that's still true? I
kind of did. Yeah, I do think that I can tell you for sure.
When we do things like that, I think, as younger people, we don't know that our moms will be upset no matter what. So just do what you want.
Yeah,
I know my brothers have taken a more a regular road for my parents. The stuff that they did is a little more okay, but the parents are still like, okay, you got married. Great. You got married. Where's the first kid? Okay. You got the first kid. Where's the second kid? So it's always like, but just your life alone will be the rebellion to parents.
Well, my life is more. Yeah, my life is the rebellion to parents, grandparents, great grandparents from the beginning of time. Yeah, I was struggling a lot with identity for most of my life, childhood, adulthood, really just looking to figure out what was, and we like to say in Italian, I felt stonato. I was out of tune, and I didn't understand what it was.
Are your parents still around?
No.
Okay.
This would have killed them.
Right. So then you talk about the second wife, Susan. And she's the mother of the 2 children that are featured in this documentary.
Yes, she is.
Emma and Dan. How'd they feel when they saw the final product of the documentary?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to them about it. I did. If they didn't like it, I don't want to know. If they liked it, I don't want to know. If it comes up, we'll talk about it. But my focus is on my relationship with them, not on. Right. I find that when you talk about comedy, like when my son's really. He's a writer and everything, so we try not to talk about comedy because we have differing views on what's funny and what isn't.
Right, and you don't want to take your work home with you, so you deliver.
Exactly, and and we've been rebuilding this relationship for quite a while now, so I just enjoy being with him.
Ooh, great time for this. If there's ever been a year to make the dads in your life feel loved and appreciated on Father's Day, speaking of kids, it's this one. Come on, you know how important the father figure is in your life. That's why I'm honoring my dad or uncle or grandfather or father-in-law, etc. A heartfelt, sentimental gift the whole family can cherish together. Storyworth. Hemda has used this, not for the father thing, but you have.
Yeah, I have. It's a great way. What's interesting is you can actually write an autobiography based on their prompts. Or, you're on the phone with your dad, or your dad has certain stories that he either retells over and over again, or there's stories where you might not know which ones to ask. Here it is. You can either ask them the questions or have them fill it out themselves, and you get to know your history. Or, I have 2 brothers who are fathers. Any father in your life, this would so help when your child grows up and now you have, here's the story of my first job, what high school was like, what did I do in my spare time? Questions that can, as you slowly answer, you can leave for your children and their children.
And then they make so you're slowly answering questions. Oops, you were tricked.
Yes.
You thought we were just having fun communicating. Now it's a beautiful book. How about that?
Yes. And you can slide pictures into it as well. So you're writing you can set the time. They could send you a question every week, every other week, however long you want. You answer it in your own time and boom, they bind it. It's a beautiful book, pictures, your story of your life. It's fantastic.
Here's, for example, what's your favorite story about your father? You can ask your father that. What things are you proudest in your life? Have you ever tried to sleep with other family members' ex-wives? And they make a beautiful keepsake. All right. So give your dad the most meaningful gift this Father's Day with Storyworth. Get started right away with no shipping required by going to storyworth.com/KATG. You'll get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/KATG. Get $10 off. Let's go back to the show. It sounds, according to the documentary, that it was during the second. Is this correct? That it was during the second marriage that you realized, hey, something's going on with my identity. I want to be the mom. What do you mean?
Well,
exactly?
it was. Yeah, I know that sounds real simplistic, but when you're traditional roles, and I am from that era when roles were traditional, I was expected to do things a certain way, and it just went against everything in my nature. I was a nurturing kind of person. I wanted to, I felt like I wanted to mother the kids rather than. I didn't know how to be a father. Let me put it that way. I didn't know how to do the manly stuff that I guess men are expected to do.
And tell me if I'm getting this right. Later in the documentary, you talk to your son, and he says how it felt to be expected to do manly things as well, where he kind of didn't fall in line with all the quote manly stuff that was expected. Am I getting that right?
I believe that's correct. I've come to find out that a lot of men feel pressured to be a certain type of to fit a certain type of role. Do you feel that, Keith? I mean,
sure, yeah. Let's understand what's supposed to be masculine and not. Yeah,
but I think it's a little easier now for men to be more open about their feelings and
Keith, you know what Keith comes out at every time somebody comes on this call, he comes out as a not handyman because they notice the guitar that's in his background and it's hanging on his wall, and he has to repeat over and over again, I had to hire another man to come into my house and put that on my wall, and that man decided.
Can he play the guitar at least?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
so
but
I hired somebody to come and play it too.
Yeah, they play it for me.
Oh, all right.
They come behind my back and put their arms around and all that. But I can't do any of that stuff. In fact, I had to, because it'd be embarrassing to have somebody come over and just put up a guitar. I had to buy extra stuff, so they have to put up a lot. And then I go, hey, while you're here, when you're done with the paper towel roll,
knock that out. Yeah,
not even a big deal. Just throw that up there.
Take a couple of minutes.
And then it was during the third wife, Kate, that you told her, hey, I do want to get a sex change. She was all about it. You get married, even though you have this idea. Then, and this part was mentioned pretty quickly. Then you say, hey, you know what? Actually, even though we're married and now I'm changed completely. She called it being fully cooked. You said, I used to be basically a man. Now I'm a woman. I'm a totally different person. We shouldn't be together anymore. And that shocked her.
Well, it was more, you have to understand when you go through this process, all kinds of things are happening to you, physical and mental. I love Kate. I still love her. If she said she wanted to get back together tomorrow, I'd be over there with, wings on my feet. But
have you mentioned that? Because
that's between the two of us. But I just want to say that at that time, the hormones were taken, were on the rampage through my body, and I was confused. You're trying to adjust to this new life. I mean, it's imagine, Keith, if you woke up tomorrow, in a woman's body, how would you manage that? It was still you, but you look, you have all these adjustments you have to make. It's hard.
How did you manage it?
I ultimately pretty well, I thought. Initially, I was, it was like being in a house of mirrors, just keep running into walls and looking for ways out and just trying to function and trying to get through the day. It was really, really hard because, again, estrogen will knock the crap out of you if you're not used to it. And when you've had testosterone your whole life, and suddenly they've taken that away and replaced it with this other hormone, and you do stuff that you don't even realize you're doing.
So you can feel a difference? How?
Oh yeah.
How has it changed, if any, your personality?
I'll give you an example. When I first started hormone therapy, Kate and I were driving, and I love Bobby Darin. I'm a huge Bobby Darin fan, and I had the CD on the not the CD. I had the cassette on my car. That's how long ago this was. And his songs came on, and I looked over at Kate and I said, "Isn't it a shame he died so young?" Because he did. But as I was saying it, I started crying, and she's looking at me like, "What the hell is going on?" And we both realized at that minute what it was. And so that's just one manifestation, but
what kind of response would you have had before the hormones?
I would have just said, "Yeah, bad, too bad, man. He really was too young." And I loved his music, and here I am, but I'm driving down the Long Island Expressway. I go, "I don't know." So it was.
Now I love that you have those two perspectives, because I want to ask you, which one do you like better? Because
the second one.
You do, because I love my emotions. I love crying.
Yeah.
I love expressing it. The fear of vulnerability, the overcoming it. It's beautiful.
And to me, it seems exhausting. I have 3 emotions, and I can't imagine having more. How do you find time in the day, ladies?
The vulnerability part was the one I had. That really threw me for a loop. I was coming from, I don't know where it was, but I was going back to my car, and it was one of those public lots, the multi-level ones.
Right.
And it was dark. It was nighttime. And I was thinking my own car was the only one up there. And it was really creeping me out that I had to walk there alone. It was the first time in my life I ever felt vulnerable. And that part I don't like, those that I can't defend myself anymore.
I hate that part. I remember going camping by myself, and it was in a state park. So it's, it's pretty open and like very public. And this dude from another campground started talking to me, and I made up that my boyfriend's coming later because I didn't want anyone to know who's right across from me, who's a dude, who's like, I believe starting to hit on me. I don't want to let you know. And I hate that because it doesn't allow me to be independent. It's don't worry, this other person that you're going to respect is coming, so lay low.
Yeah, and my boyfriend's back, and it's going to be trouble. That kind of a thing. I'm sorry, we're not leaving you out, Keith, are we?
Oh, that's what happened.
Where did he go?
Okay, so his internet must have went out. It's so funny that you noticed that he was quiet. I just thought we were having a good time.
I thought we were too, but I felt, gee, maybe I'm feeling I'm leaving him out here, and I don't know. Where are you guys? So where are you located?
In Queens, New York.
Oh, you're in New York. Oh, okay. See, I'm in Jersey, down near Toms River area. But I'm from that area. I'm from North Bergen, New Jersey area, right on the other side of the river.
All right. Sorry about that. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it like it's not my fault. Like, everybody ready now? Sorry about that. I can't wait until we could see each other in person. I'm not sure that I'm fully comfortable yet. And then I don't have to worry about an internet going down that just happened on. Do
you normally do these in studio, or?
We usually do. And then the last year we started doing them from our house. And it makes me think of this. You're a finalist on America's Got Talent. Did excellent. The documentary happens to be coming out also. Now everybody has to stay home. Is that a kick in the vagina?
Well, Jesus Christ. He's obsessed with my parts.
I really am.
Men really are like that. They really are. They really, really are. It's not. It's what was
my mother did warn me that men will be obsessed by vaginas, and she was fucking right. It's a weird thing to tell a kid, but she was absolutely right.
No, that was good advice from your mother, especially knowing that she was going to be hanging out. Why does your box say Julia Scotti?
Because when I clicked in, maybe I clicked on your name or something like that.
Stay out of my box, man.
People really am all about it.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'm going to leave it there and act like I'm you and go, you know what? I am going to tell you about my wives. All right. I'll change it so nobody's confused.
All right. I think he's got issues, Kimda.
So what was it? So when the pandemic does hit you,
we had planned when the movie came out that we were going to take it around the country to the festivals, which is what we wound up doing, but virtually, and tie in with the festivals performance.
Right.
At a local theater or comic club or whatever. So that was the plan originally. And then all of this happened, and we just had to start, doing adjust. So we did it virtually. And now we're talking again about doing, even though it's not part of a festival, about going out with the screening and a performance. So
Right.
I don't know. We're just talking right now, though.
How have you adjusted to this virtual life?
I hate it. I mean, to perform. Are you comics? Do you guys do stand up?
I don't, and he only does it once a year to record an album.
How do you record an album once a year?
Yeah. Don't mess around with the practicing and shit like that.
How do you do that?
You just do it.
Well, how do you know the material will work?
I trust people. They don't walk you through movies time and time again, right? They just give it to you when it's done.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Like, I think it's easiest to think about it this way. Key thoughts are simple and clear, and they get expressed in that way because that is exactly how he feels. So he's on stage. That's the way he's going to tell you that information no matter what. So that's how he gets it done.
It looks like he froze up again.
Yep. Let me ask you about some other stuff that I know he wanted to know about.
Oh, okay.
Well, you had triple bypass surgery, right?
A quadruple.
A quadruple, excuse me.
And I had a valve replacement and one repaired.
Wow. I had open heart surgery because I had a tumor in my chest.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and the recovery for that was a while. I assume quadruple bypass is huge.
I was, it took me, I want to say about 5 months before I could go back to work. I'll tell you a story. I'm on a TV special on Showtime called More Funny Women of a Certain Age with Carol Montgomery. That's the second special, that's the one I'm on. I was supposed to do her first one, and I couldn't because of the surgery. And that was a period from I had surgery on December 22nd, and we were taping, I guess, the middle of January. And I told her I was originally going to do it, but not me. How long did it take you to get over yours?
2 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad though. I can't say it was.
I've never heard of a tumor on a heart. That's
It actually moved my heart to the shoulder and collapsed my lung. Basically, it was giant, and
holy shit.
Things are better now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did they have to drain your lung? Did they have to tap your lung?
Yeah, like where you have a tube in your.
They stick the needle in and they rock you back and forth. Did they do that for you?
No, I did have a tube in my, like a long tube that I didn't know about, which I was really glad, but it stuck out of the side. I had a couple of them.
I had that too, but I got pneumonia afterwards. I can't believe we're talking like you shouldn't know. I got pneumonia and they couldn't get rid of the liquid, so they came in with this. I swear to God, let me see. It had to be that long.
So that's about 10 inches.
Yeah, and they shove it in the side and back into where the lung is. And this nurse puts me in a full Nelson. She's got her hands behind me, and she's rocking me back and forth, and then shaking me up and down, literally like trying to get this liquid out. They filled, I think he told me, like one of those big soda bottles full of liquid. Yeah.
What's funny is that science. The science says to full Nelson the patient and then rock them until they drain of their liquid. I'm so glad that that's not how we need to pee. Is like with someone else's help.
Yes.
Shaking us around.
Yeah.
Was that the surgery that you got in Canada?
No, that was my heart surgery with the heart, with the draining of the liquid. No. The gender some transformation stuff was in Canada, yes.
Why in Canada?
Well, don't forget, this was 20 years ago. I got it done in 2001, 2002. So it's almost 20 years ago. There wasn't a whole lot in this country in terms of experts. There were some. Colorado, Los Angeles, I think, had one or two. But they were super, super expensive. And this doctor up in Canada was renowned. He was one of the pioneers of the surgery. And so I wanted to be in good hands, and I went.
Well, for me, the night before surgery, I laughed up until the night before surgery, and then just as I was going to bed, it all of a sudden dawned on me what's going to happen the next day. They're going to put me out. They're going to open me up. They're going to do all this stuff. Did you have any panicky moments before?
I didn't really have panicky moments about the genital reconstruction. I was all. I mean, I never looked back on that. Never, ever looked back on that.
Well,
the heart surgery. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Like the open heart surgery, I so invasive. You have to be ready for people to just constantly look at you. And
yes.
And that was the vulnerability that I didn't like. How did you manage the vulnerability?
Well, I was half dead already, but I mean, I told the doctor, I was laying in the hospital. It was all very quick. I had never had heart issues before, so it all happened pretty quickly. And I said to the doctor, in fact, I do a bit about this, how when we first came, I said, listen, if I go on the table, just let me go. Don't even hit me with don't. We started wheel me down, going, you put a lot of work into this. If I go, just give me one shot with the panels, just one. That's all. One shot. No, you know what? Two at the top, three at the most. By the time I get down there, I'm like at the sun, like, don't let me die. Hook me up to the car battery if you have to, but don't let me fucking die. It wasn't quite that dramatic, but yeah, that was kind of the feeling. It's when it changes your whole perspective. Did you feel like that after you had yours?
I think as soon as I heard the news that there was a giant tumor in my chest, I was forced to either change my perspective on a lot of things or start spiraling into depression.
Did you have depression after? Because I think that was an issue for me. And they said it had to do with almost dying. They also said it had to do a lot with the anesthesia because that sometimes causes depression too. So I don't know. I don't know. We see what we were talking about while you were gone.
Death and destruction.
We're talking about death. My favorite thing.
Were you talking about how the end of the documentary, it seemed like Julie was ready to go any day? Like, I'm on my final hours. I know that. And I'm ready to accept. I'm like, Julia, what the fuck?
Was that when I was in the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or right after it. Like that's how the place closes out. Like, I might be dead tomorrow, but I think I lived a good life.
Well, that's why, when I did that comeback set at Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, I had it done in December. That was the beginning of April. So it was only a couple of months out. I was still traumatized by this. And I was really thinking about going into therapy for it because I was obsessed with whether I was going to die tomorrow. I'd get up in the morning, I'd sit on I'd open up my eyes and go, oh, I'm still here. Okay. We'll take it for as far as it'll go. It does that to you, And I'm going to tell you, looks like we're going to have a thunderstorm. So if I lose you, that's what happened.
Okay, that'd be fair. Can I ask you about the transgender surgery?
You love to talk about that.
I am fascinated by it.
What do you want to know?
You could say, I'd love to know. Do they take?
Well, if you do too much probing, I'm going to end. No, don't make a probing joke.
Okay, so you did that.
I know, but I just realized who I said it to, and I went, oh shit, he's going to do a probing joke. All right, go ahead, ask me. What do you want to know?
Do they take penis parts and make a clitoris, or does the penis not use that?
I don't want to get into. I don't want to describe it. Go on the internet. There's plenty of stuff on the internet to go see it.
But you set me up. You said I can start asking.
I didn't know you were going to go right there. No, I don't want to talk about that.
You can start with breasts.
No, we're talking about the movie. Let's talk about the movie. Come on.
All right.
Come on. Grow the fuck up.
Grow up. You're right. Who cares? Who cares what happened?
He's still got my name on his box. I think he's hot for me. I really do. I
wouldn't be surprised.
Sick bastard. I'm twice your age.
How is your dating life now?
I have no. Listen, I have learned my lesson. I am not meant to be in a relationship. Beanie.
How long has it been that way?
Since Kate, about at least 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Almost 20 years. I don't miss it. You hit a certain age and that just doesn't matter. It's too much work. I like being living alone. Comedy. I hate it. Sounds trite and cliche, but I'm sort of married to my career. I love comedy, and there's no room in my life for anybody else. Sorry, Keith.
That's all right. It's
I know. I can see the disappointment in your face.
Do people ever hit on you after a stand-up show?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's a weird kind of thing. Like my preference is still for women. I mean, that doesn't change. Your sexual preference doesn't change, even though your gender has. So they're two different things. But lesbians are sort of hesitant to date trans women, because it makes them feel, I guess, less lesbian. I don't know.
Mm.
And straight men don't want to date trans women because it makes them feel gay. So I mean, I'm stuck in the middle. I don't want to. I don't care. I just don't care. So when they do hit on me, I go, yeah, okay.
When I was dating, I marked that I'm also available for transgender women. So just something for you to take in.
I knew that.
Yeah.
So
pretty evolved, right?
I'm sorry. This is what it's like to date men. So they're just like, hey, by the way, I did this regular thing that I totally expect you to do when it's time. But can I get a cookie?
Yeah,
it's like, yeah. So, if I don't give you a cookie right now, it's not going to happen again. So I might as well give you a cookie. So please, Julia, please give Keith a cookie.
I don't know what to give him here. He's just. I wasn't expecting this. Let's put it this way.
What do we think about transgender girls and girls assigned at birth sports?
He's looking to get me in trouble here. What do you think of it?
I think at first I thought, no, they'll just be better having muscle mass of what we would consider boys. But then I started realizing the people complaining about that have other views that are abhorrent. And
you think?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And they're asking because it's so unnatural and disgusting to them, not because they really. What kids' sports are they even paying attention to? Who gives a shit? That's to me where I realized, that's where the hang up is.
I'll give you my.
I mean, try it. It's like when a kid falls down and you go, "Oh my God, are you hurt?" If you overexert, just don't make it a thing and see if the kids are cool with it. I bet they are.
Of course they are. There are. Look, I'll grant you, maybe at the college level, if that happened, there might be somebody who's in the first stages of transition that, yes, they might be physically strong or whatever. But I'll tell you this, when you do take the testosterone blockers and replace it with the estrogen, you lose muscle mass. And so statistically, I'd like to see, if there is really an imbalance. And I tend to believe that, trans women or trans men do not outperform cisgender men or women in their given sport. I think it all would balance out eventually. I can't say for sure because I don't have the statistics, but that's my guess. And I agree with you, Keith. It's usually more a matter of an abomination before the Lord and Savior, who.
Right. We all know the real one.
Yeah.
Did you quit smoking, by the way? You had me concerned.
I quit smoking 2 months before I even knew I had a heart issue. I was walking up. I was in Manhattan, and I was walking from Susan Sandler's office, and I was walking from 8th Street up to 18th Street to do an interview, and I was gasping for air. I mean, literally just leaning against the wall, hanging on to poles. I couldn't breathe. I said, "Well, I'm no doctor, but this could be smoking related."
Right.
And so I went home that night and I broke up with my cigarettes. I actually had a breaking up ceremony, and I talked to my last cigarette and I said, "I love you. I will always love you.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to part company." And I smoked it, and that was the end of it. And
you gave me joy.
That was
and
your
thank you for your
wife.
That was the fourth wife, right?
That was my fourth wife. That relationship lasted longer for me than any other one I had. I've been smoking since I was 12. So,
How did you get your hands on cigarettes when you were 12?
Oh God, I lived above a candy store. I grew up above a candy store. My mother smoked Camels. I used to have to go down to the Mary and Tony's candy store and go pick up 2 packs of Camels in the Daily News for my mother every morning. It was not a big deal. I mean, they sold them to everybody back then.
And when your parents caught it, did you get in trouble?
They never. My mother and father were divorced, so my father wasn't there, and my mother was crazy, so she didn't give a shit. So I would steal cigarettes from her pocketbook. She used to smoke Chesterfields too, which were, I don't know if you guys remember them, but they were filterless cigarettes.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you?
I love smoking, but okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. But you are off it.
3 years. It'll be 3 years.
Congrats.
November 27th. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
People, speaking of this day and age, are people being better with pronouns and respecting what's going on, or does it seem the same in the last 20 years?
I mean, I respect that people are trying to assert who they are, and if they have a pronoun, that if you know, I don't care what you want to be called. Tell me what you want to be called. I'll call you that.
Right.
Me personally,
how about what you get to you? How you receive it? Are people getting better, or does it seem?
I think people's consciousnesses
right.
are being raised. Consciousness are being raised, and I think people are truly making an effort to accommodate us, and I think that's wonderful. I know when I first came out, people, including my mother, just continued to call me he, referred to me as he. And I had some ex-friends, they're ex-friends now, who would not give it up. And so I just said, well, you know what, we're going to have to just part company.
What are they doing? Trying to teach you a lesson? Like, why else would they do that? That's got to be it, right? Like, no, you're a man, so you can't make me play the devil.
It offended them. A lot of men, and I know that I don't understand it, but a lot of my male friends from back then, when I came out, used the word betrayed. I betrayed them.
Wow.
Because they told you man secrets?
Yes, I didn't know they were.
You shared a cum cookie and now a woman knows it?
Yeah, I said I didn't know what man secrets we had shared. I didn't know men had secrets.
Right.
And after a while I just started playing with it. I go, listen. And I look around and go, I'm really a female spy. I'm going to go into their camp and I'm going to learn all. I'm going to hang out in the bathroom, just get all of their secrets, and I'll come back and report it. You stupid fuck you. You know,
right.
But you
guess what? They still don't cry. Oh, okay. Thanks. Great reporting, Julia.
There you go.
You had to raise your level of consciousness too, right? In the documentary, you were sitting, I think, with your son,
yes,
watching old clips, and you did have some homophobic, transphobic
yes,
material that you were now surprised that people were laughing at. So I feel like the transition, maybe like Keith is saying, is the vibe changing out there. You know that even if you weren't transgender, you can't say those old jokes. They just aren't funny because they're not true.
right. And it goes to show what, you know, the times were different back then. And it was, you know, we're talking 20 years ago at least when that clip was aired. And it was horrifying to me to see myself saying those things. And it was, but I also realized that I was having issues even then. And I was kind of reacting in a sort of uber, you know, macho way to sort of, you know, I'm a manly man. Fuck that.
Did you know back then?
I knew something was, as I said, stonato.
Right.
Were you making, like, for example, CPR mouth to mouth? I'm not giving it to a dude, of course.
Right.
At the time, are you almost chastising yourself? Like, behave me, be.
Yeah, I was not chastising myself, but I wouldn't even want. It was almost like I didn't want to even go there and think, well, maybe I would like that, you know, what if I did like it, you know, and
right.
If I said, the way I said it back then was, oh my God, what if I like it? Now I would say, oh, what if I like it? Yeah.
Right.
You know, I could like it. You know,
it's so funny that Keith brought that up because you gave mouth to mouth to a dog
to my
revive.
dog.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
it was,
it's funny that you're not giving mouth to mouth to a dude, but you're totally fine with your dog.
Well, that's completely asexual, except in Kentucky.
Well, let's hope so.
You know,
marriage.
Not
Kentucky again.
Yeah, Kentucky, yes.
It's everywhere that you can't pee, right?
Yeah, right. That was one of my first bits when I came back to comedy, because at that time it was a big deal in North Carolina, I think, or South Carolina. I remember where. Yeah.
About not being able to go to the bathroom.
And I had planned to take it on tour. I was just going to go down there with a film crew and just pee in every fucking bathroom I could find, every women's room I could find down there, just to piss them off.
No fun. Yeah.
Leave a true legacy. When your children speak of you,
Right.
they will speak of your urine
My
with
urine.
pride. Yes.
I was like Joni Appleseed, you know. I mean, he would pee everywhere.
Well, I'll tell people I do recommend this documentary, and of course, it's called Julia Scotti, Funny That Way.
Yes.
And what else you got going on today? What are we gonna do?
Oh, we wrapping up? Is this the wrap up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
How come we're wrapping up so fast? I was just getting warmed up.
Then we'll get to those other questions.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah, I'm sure Keith can ask you some more questions if you opt in. Just click on the box. No? Okay.
And then it becomes like I have to charge him $2.99 a minute if he wants to.
Sure.
I honestly don't want to be on your guys' first date. Like, Julia, it's as lovely as it is to meet you, I'm opting out.
No, me too. I'm opting out too. So what's on me? I don't know, when does this air? Because I could give you. I'll tell you what's going on. I mean, I'll tell you what you want to know. I'm going to be at the Stress Factory this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
We're going to Richmond in a couple of weeks. Back on the road and recording another album in November. I'm starting to get ready for that. Unlike you, I actually have to go out and write material and rehearse it.
You're a professional. Well, you know what? Comedians don't let me be me. That's interesting. Because I only do once a year, they tell me I'm not a comedian. I go, okay, I didn't say anything. I don't care.
Who tells you that, Keith? I'll smack them in the face.
The comedians say I betrayed them.
Oh, see, you're just like the male comedians say that the female comedians say.
Now I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Follow Julia on Twitter. The Twitter is Julia Scotti 4, the number 4. Facebook is Julia Scotti 5. I love it.
Come on.
Yeah.
What?
I don't have a lot of imagination when it comes to that.
Guess what Instagram is? I'm just kidding. Instagram is Julia Scotti Comedy. Then we get into words. I love it. Julia, thanks for your patience. Sorry about the in and out.
Oh, no, that's okay. We had a wonderful you'll see it when you.
I'm excited.
Stop. I hope I bump into you. Are you guys ever in the city?
Sure. As soon as we're really allowed out and feeling comfortable actually hitting other people's elbows. And
are you still not feeling that? Or
someone said therapy. I have the answer for everybody. BetterHelp. It's 2021. Mental health is finally a thing. So many people struggling right now. They're not feeling like their normal selves. Obviously, this is going to help you. Again, Hemda loves them.
I do. I really believe that if you have a session, it might uncover some emotions that you didn't even know you were going through. And you're responding in that. You don't know that you're agitated. You don't know why you're agitated. You don't know why certain aspects of your life can't be managed. They don't seem related to what your mind is going through, what your heart is going through. But
and then you get ashamed of yourself as if you're the only one who can't figure this shit out.
Right. And it just seems like, why can't I do the dishes? Or why can't I take a shower in an appropriate amount of times? Why am I not taking care of myself? Why am I getting angry at random people who, only triggered me? Why is my trigger a hair trigger?
Right.
And just unloading in the first session might change that perspective and lower that anxiety.
BetterHelp is customized online therapy. They offer video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist. How about that? And more affordable. This part is shocking to me. More affordable than in-person therapy.
And for me, it was a lot easier to find a therapist through this system.
So this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off their first month. BetterHelp.com/KATG.
That's help.
Help, right. BetterHelp.com/KATG.
I got to get my second vax and then wait 2 weeks and, all kinds of medical
and then check
stuff,
the death toll. And then
Keith has to get out of prison. He's got to get out of there.
I just like to wear comfortable shirts. Come on.
I know. All right.
Look at who knows style over there. Did that change? Like, do you know style better? Do you dress better? No.
I was not. The only thing
because that would make Keith consider it because he is done with these jokes at him.
Right.
No, I was not a fashion plate before. That didn't change. I'm not. You know what? I know we have some. Are we off? Or are you still recording here?
Go ahead. I assume we're still recording.
One of the things I found when I began to associate with women as a woman was that not all women are fashion conscious. Most of the ones I know just like jeans, sneakers, t-shirt, just be comfortable. Yeah. I get dressed when I go on stage. I mean, that's important to me. That's the way I was trained. But
that's funny. I heard a joke about a transgender, I think it was from a transgender woman, and she's like, my God, like you just expect after I transition that I'm gonna have the nails and the hair and whatever. But like most of the women I know are wearing sweatpants out, and that's
exactly it. And I know I've seen trans women who overcompensate for their femininity and do that. And I think we all go through sort of an accelerated puberty, accelerated teenage years, young girl years. We do. I know I went through a period like that, but at some point everything leveled off, and I just decided I'm just going to be comfortable being me.
You ever do something and think, is that because of the estrogen? Is it not? Like I remember when Caitlyn Jenner hit somebody in the back of the car, killed the person, and Caitlyn's like, great, it's going to be because I'm a woman driver now.
Did she say that?
No, I'm just picturing it. Like, I'll be picked off of this.
Why are you?
That's what I'm picturing.
Well, I don't know that she actually said that. She did kill somebody, right? Yeah. I don't know. I try not to pay any attention to anything Caitlyn Jenner says because it's just less painful that way. But
I hear
I think what it comes down to, and all of this is about being yourself. My decisions on behaviors, on style, and my weight, any of it is all my decision. I living up to other people's standards for so many years, trying to pretend to be something I wasn't, that I just, fuck them. I don't need to live for anybody but myself. And I hope that answers your question, Keith.
I get you. Good for you.
Yeah, good for me. Good for all of us.
There you go. I agree. And again, check out the doc and all that. And I hope everything's working out close to you and all those people that we don't talk about. And that's that. Thank you, everybody. Julia,
I hope
thanks
I see you in a club. Come see me in a club.
It's a deal.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Oh, he's gone again.
But I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
And this will be out pretty soon, and we'll send you a link and stuff.
Okay. Was it okay?
What do you think?
I get a little squeamish when people start going for the vagina questions, and it's I don't like to go there. I really don't. And I've been ambushed a couple of times by men, and it's very intrusive and offensive.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you know, I was married to a transgender male.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Transgender male?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And you say was, still not?
No, we got divorced.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, it turns out every dude's a liar. No.
Every dude's a liar.
Every dude's a liar. I'm like, it makes sense that you're a male. I hate you.
Well, mission accomplished. I'm
like,
that's so funny.
I'm questioning you. This makes total sense to me. But yeah, it's tough to navigate because people would start asking me about our sex life and like, what do you call fucking? And like, how do you know when people are done? And it puts you sort of on a platform where you're speaking on behalf of everybody with this experience. And for me, it was also once removed. So I had to, all I could say is from this experience, here's what I see and here's what I experience. So to navigate that, I don't know, I sometimes am like, you know what, we are, let's say, call us the first people talking about this. People's curiosities are so piqued. I don't know, but we also go on podcasts and people basically ask like, what is it like to be a woman? Like, what's it like to be a woman comic? What's it like to be a Middle Eastern thing? And it's like, I recognize that when people look at me, they see Middle Eastern. So they ask me about that. They see, they hear the name, they ask me about that. So I try to live in I'm glad you're curious and interested about this. I think that will normalize it eventually. And
I do too. I believe that too. And I think that's part of what this film is about too, is that everything I do with the intention of A, entertaining. That's what I do first and foremost. But B, to teach. I'm a teacher by nature. I was a teacher. And so I hope that, by doing these podcasts and doing these TV shows, that people can see, will walk away going, what's the big deal? She's just
right.
I want her for my grandmother. I want her for my aunt or whatever. And so that's just because I'm being true to myself, but I get what you're saying. It's a long road. We are the first generation of people to be doing this.
Yeah. And to even be put on a platform, instead of saying, guess the sex, it's like, let's hear their story. So it's like these little progress,
little victories,
step by step.
Victories.
And I've said this, like, it's not, I'm not transgender, so it's not like I'm really, but I have been asked invasive questions, and I feel like because we're on the comedian side and we talk about things that normally people don't speak about.
Right.
People want to have that relief of, okay, then you tell me. You're saying you're okay to speak, you tell me. And so that's why I'm like, well, I said I'm okay with people putting me on this platform to speak about this because I'm a person who's able to speak openly about what other people call private. I would like to speak out, so I invite people to ask me whatever they want. And that's what I think about the private, personal, invasive questions.
Yeah, I mean, he's the second guy in the last 3 days to ask me about my vagina. And I said the same thing to the other guy. That was a print interview. I said, look, I don't want to get into that. I mean, do I ask you to show me your dick? I don't care. I mean,
in all fairness, we've asked people to show us their dick in the studio.
Do they show them their dick?
Well, one guy said he had snake eyes tattooed on the head of his dick because he found out that his father did, because they were like peeing in the same toilet. So when he got to be 18, he put a tattoo of snake eyes on the head of his dick, so his dick looks like a snake. And we were like, okay, pull it out. He pulled it out.
That's one of the strangest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. Wow.
But that's sort of the platform that comedy gives. It's like, this is the thing that people wouldn't ask. This is the thing that people wouldn't discuss. And so it blurs the lines a little bit. It pushes the lines a little bit. So I think,
Well, I think too, that's partially of my demureness about, I think that just came naturally to me as a woman. Where I couldn't be that way as Rick. I can't say, you know what? No, I don't. I have the right to say no. I don't want to talk to you about that, and I will. I'll tell you almost anything. I'm from an open book, but there's a line,
And there's always a line. So I think it's fair to, as people on platforms, to say, "Oh, that's where my line is," and then just.
So you are a comic, then?
Well, we've been podcasting a comedy podcast for 16 years, so
That's remarkable.
Thanks. It's from the beginning of podcasting. So I just think like my brain has to think in that way for 16 years. So I'm not a stand-up, but I do speak with comedians and joke with comedians and, essentially write jokes as we go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Interesting. You're a fascinating woman.
So are you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Please just tell him that, if you wouldn't mind passing that along about my feelings about the stuff we talk about with, the vagina and all.
Sure,
It's
of course.
kind of like, just slap him around a little bit, okay?
Yeah. And he did ask my ex about his vagina, his dick. Like it's a curiosity.
Did he if you don't mind me asking, had your husband transitioned before your marriage or after?
He was starting to transition towards the end. It didn't have anything to do with the breakup at all.
Good for you.
Yeah, not at all. But the fact that I caught him cheating and lying about basically everything.
That's a no-no.
Yeah, he could have been whatever he wanted on wherever he wanted.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
I would have given my right arm to keep Kate in my life, but say, Lovey, what are you gonna do?
I get that.
All right, kiddo. Well, stay in touch, will you?
Yeah, it was good talking to you. Thanks,
Good talking
Julia.
to you too. All right, take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye.
KateandTheGirl.com